Hey y'all, it's Miss Katie from Heritage Ways. I've been a homeschooler for 15 years. I was a public schooler for 7 years before that, and I ran a daycare. Whew, that was a job. Largest daycare in the county with 100 children and 25 female employees. So that's the experience that I bring to the table today, and that's what I want to share with you when we talk about teaching math in your homeschool. Okay, we're going to talk about teaching math in your homeschool. I'm going to go kind of quickly, at least that's my plan. And we're going to talk about elementary through high school, giving a little bit more time to talking about high school. We're going to start with some wisdom that I found in my favorite and only newspaper to which I subscribe, The Budget. It's a newspaper primarily for, it serves the Amish and Mennonite communities throughout the Americas, it says, and I love to subscribe to this. It just makes me feel good, and I know some of the people who are mentioned in here because I have Amish and Mennonite friends in Ohio and here in Tennessee. But I was looking at this newspaper just the other day, and underneath the column of the recipe column, it says, the kitchen can be a child's first classroom, teaching math, design, organization, and patience. Isn't that true? You know, I know that y'all agree with that. Whether you homeschool or don't homeschool, surely most of us, a lot of us have our children in the kitchen with us, and we say half a pizza or, you know, a piece of pie. We're teaching them math and math terminology in the kitchen, you know, before we even think that we're, quote, homeschooling. So let's go real quick. With that in mind, I want to point out that many of you, most of you, all of you, are teaching your children at home. I kind of am bothered a little bit when I hear people say, well, my child's 6 and I'm going to start homeschooling. Oh, no, ma'am. No, you started the day they were born. You started the day they were born. Think of all the things you have taught them, and you are teaching them potty training, eating with a spoon, and it goes on and on and on, walking, helping them learn how to share, all the things you're teaching them. That is life schooling. That is homeschooling. School is life. Life is school. No, you're not starting at 6 years old. You started when they were born. Now, at 5 and 6, you might choose to send them to a public school, a private school, some kind of school, or you might choose to homeschool. So I know what you mean when you say you're starting to homeschool at 5 or 6, but honestly, think about it. You started when they were born, for goodness sakes. So we believe that school is life and life is school. In the elementary level, like the very elementary, I mean, I'm talking preschool. Let's just talk about the preschool level. There are things that you can do and get to teach math. I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to kind of glide over the elementary, the preschool and elementary. If somebody's interested, I'll do another video. I'll show some games and manipulatives and things like that. So I'm going to kind of glide past that so we can get to the high school. But if you're interested, let me know. We'll do another video about math in the preschool and elementary ages. I do want to just kind of throw out there that you can use a plethora of things. And so we'll come back to that if anybody's interested. I'll just come back to that. What I do want to talk about is at the high school level. Now, I'm going to tell you the 3 scenarios because the 3 different older children that we had. I'm going to just basically go through real life and what we did, our mistakes, and our successes and failures. All right. I found out about teaching textbooks. Now, I had used a lot of curriculum up until I found out about teaching textbooks. This is, I'm just holding up these. I have the teaching textbooks curriculum for 4th grade. See, here it is. 4th grade through calculus, I believe. I'm only showing you this 4th grade disc set. Use it on your computer. And I'm showing you this 5th grade book, because that's what I could put my hands on. Everything else is packed. because we are getting ready to move, travel on our Heritage Homestead journey, and everything else is packed. But believe me, I've got all the other books. So here's the textbook, the written book. Let's go through what we did. Our oldest son is now 25. He is he went to college for a year or two, and then he changed career paths. He is now in the United States Army and doing very well. He's doing very well. And we started him with teaching textbooks. Here's how it works. You buy the, you can buy, this is an and or a combination. You can buy the book, the workbook, and you can just write in on your own paper, you know, to save the book. That way you could resell it, or you could just write in the book too. But most people that I know write on separate paper to save the book for future children or to sell it. These are the discs, and like I said, this is 4 and that's 5, but still, to show you, it comes with the CDs that you put in your computer. You can use these with multiple children, which is phenomenal. It does have a certain number of uses, but you call the company and you can get a code and it will unlock, and you can just use these CDs over and over and over. So that's what we do. So these teach the lessons. So you put the CDs in, it teaches the lesson. It's, I like it. I like the way it's taught. It's very simple. I actually had to use this, or I did this with my older son when we were doing algebra together. And I want to talk to you in a minute about how much Katie does not like math. And that will help you understand some things. But, so this teaches it. You also have a solutions set. When you get older, to the older levels, a solution set of CDs. It's easy to use. I highly recommend this, but I recommend this for somebody like me who does not like math or understand it very well. Now, I'm just going to say, I mean, I can feed you. I can feed 50 people and not sweat, okay? But I cannot work an algebra problem. I don't even understand how to spell the word calculus. And forget trigonometry, because I don't even know what that means. So I hated it in school. I didn't get it. I didn't catch on. My poor mama had to go to my algebra professor and just say, look, please give her some grace and pass her. It was awful. I don't understand it. I don't grasp it. I don't understand it. So therefore, I can't teach it to my children. So you might say, hello, that's me. How do you think I'm going to homeschool if I can't teach it or I don't understand it? Well, stay tuned. Here we go. We're going to keep going. My oldest son and I trudged through it. We looked at the CDs and we tried to work it together. And honestly, I didn't do him I did him a disservice, because really in the town we were in, I didn't know who to go to. I didn't have the resources for some backup. We just kind of did the best we could. And he graduated with a very weak background in math. I'm just going to be honest. He did. But he did fine in the college that he went to. And now he's doing fine in his chosen career. So there's that. All right. And he did do Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. That's as high as he went in the teaching textbooks. All right. Son number 2. Son number 2 has a different... he's more technologically minded. He has a bent toward mathematics, and he enjoys that. He's always enjoyed puzzles and engineering, and he enjoys that. All right, son number 2. We had moved to this town we're in now, which is a larger town, many more resources. The first thing that we did when we moved here, and we realized he was struggling because he had a mama who couldn't teach math, and daddy's not a whole lot better. We hired a good friend of ours, a good friend's son. The son became our good friend, and we hired him as a tutor. So there's that. You can get a tutor, private tutor. That was not cheap. So we did that for a year. Everything worked great. My son understood what he was doing. The second year, the tutor friend of ours said, look, Katie, you're really spending a lot of money by hiring me. I think you need to enroll your son in this tutorial that I'm going to be teaching at, and he'll still have the same teacher. He'll just be in a group setting. So we did that, and the money was about the same, honestly, for the tutorial, and we got a little bit more for our money because he took 2 or 3 classes. So the same teacher, and then he was available for questions and so forth. So I can't remember exactly what classes, but I think that's when our son took calculus. Now, there was no way on God's green earth that I was going to teach calculus. I don't even understand. But the teacher, I will say, he used this teaching textbooks in his class. So basically, you know, the student had the discs they could use at home, and then he was reinforcing it and teaching it in his class at the tutorial. If you don't know what a tutorial is, leave a comment below and I'll let you know, or we'll make a separate video about different options of how to homeschool. But I'm trying to make this short and as sweet as possible. As short and as sweet as possible. So that's how second son got through. We used the tutor, we used the tutorial. Okay? I'm not going to let my lack of knowledge or understanding about a subject keep me from homeschooling my child. There are resources. I'm going to add one more thing I probably shouldn't say. Don't assume that just because you're sending your child to whatever XYZ school that the teachers are spot on and know exactly what they're talking about, and they're so, you know, intelligent. And here's why. I taught 3rd grade math and 5th grade math, and y'all, I know I didn't do a good job. I didn't like it. I didn't understand every aspect and nuance of math. I just don't. And I know, and I knew it then, that my students were not getting a strong background in math. So I'm just saying, take it from me. I'm admitting my flaws. My poor students did not have a good background in math. So don't assume just because you're sending them off to XYZ wonderful school that the teachers are just brilliant in every aspect. I think my children got a good foundation in grammar, but not in math. You know, in the English language, yes. In history, yes, but not in math. So please don't make that assumption. And child number 3, I want to tell you real quickly how it worked out for him. He just graduated last year. He is an entrepreneur in 4 different directions. He's 19 years old. He owns his own business. Actually, he owns 3 businesses. He is doing phenomenally well. He's chosen not to go to college. We're very proud of him, as we are all of our children, for their choices. His brain works differently, kind of similarly to son number 1, but not like son number 2. You know, sons 1 and 3 don't necessarily enjoy all that engineering and puzzle mindset. All right. So math on son number 3. I'm just going to say, and he would say, he did not grasp the multiplication tables when he was young. I mean, I tried to get him to do it. He just, something didn't click. And he did not learn them like he knows he should. He even tells the littles, he'll say, learn those multiplication tables because I didn't do it. I wouldn't, or I couldn't, or I didn't. And so that right there is just a foundation for a problem if you don't learn your multiplication tables. So you've got to do that. Here, we've got these little things laminated. Multiplication tables. So you've got to do that. So that was part of his problem. That's when his problem started, because he couldn't, whatever. Like I said, when we moved here, we had different resources because this was a bigger town, and I'm not going to deny the fact that bigger towns have more resources. But we moved here, and we were really struggling, he and I. I mean, I was trying to help him, but then I'd get frustrated because I don't understand math, and it was just bad. And to be quite honest with you, he was behind. You know, I don't like to say behind because you go at your own pace in homeschooling, but he was pretty behind in math. And I will say too, though, we used teaching textbooks. The delay wasn't necessarily the cause of teaching textbooks. So I still recommend teaching textbooks. But I think I let it, his dad and I let it go too far before we sought out some help for him, I think. So I'm going to take that responsibility. But so that, coupled with the fact he didn't learn his multiplication tables then, caused a great delay. So what we did in that case, he did take 1 year. The son number 2 took 2 years in the tutorial of math. This son took 1 year. After that, he said tutorials are not for him. Just like nowadays, he said college is not for him. That's fine. Do you have a son like that, a daughter like that? That's fine. That's fine. They're uniquely made. College is not made for everybody. It's not required to graduate from the school of life. So he decided tutorials were not for him. And we said, okay, you don't have to go back. Then we knew we needed some help. So a new place had sprouted up in town. One of these math tutoring places, these chains. So I went in there one day and explained to him that I had a son who was high school age and needed a lot of help. And that was the answer to our prayer. So that son went for 1 to 2 years, 2 I guess maybe, I don't remember, to that math tutorial type place where he went in, and I highly recommend that too. If you want to know the name, I'll tell you below. But I highly recommend that because the guy really worked with him. And although my son said he's a math geek, I said, so what? Suck it up, because that's what we need at this point. We need somebody. And the guy, you know what? After the first day there, my son came home with a lifted spirit, and he said, oh my word. He said he explained some things to me that I had never understood. My whole life, I'd never understood this function of math or that or the other. And he said, I think I'm going to understand this. Now, did he like it? Did he like going? No, because he doesn't like math. He doesn't enjoy it like I enjoy cooking, or like this son enjoys being an entrepreneur. But did he appreciate what he was getting there? Yes. Did we? Yes. The price was not out the roof. It was reasonable for the results we were getting. So that's another option. So I've given you several options, several ideas. I've told you real life circumstances of how we got through math. Seek out a friend at church. We have a very knowledgeable math professor at our church that I could have asked. We have different resources where we are. So seek that out. Don't be afraid to find resources. That's what it's all about. We homeschool parents are good at seeking out and finding different ways for our children to learn. So stay tuned for more videos. Please leave comments below. I'm trying to shoot some stuff at you, answer some questions I've been getting, and I really hope it helps. If you have further questions, anything, y'all just ask me. Ask me, we'll make some more quickie videos and hope it helps. Y'all, please, if you don't mind, can you share these videos? Share the information about our YouTube channel with your friends on Facebook so we can get the word out. Because if we can grow our channel, it opens doors that YouTube allows us to do other things as our subscriptions grow, as our channel grows. YouTube allows us to do more. So please follow along, like the videos, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and tell your friends, and we'll see you next time. Bye.